4-year-old Keith London was killed. The cops in both Sanford and Oviedo were looking for this blue Acura, eventually found in Sanford. And they were also looking for the two people inside. Oviedo released a composite sketch of one of the men from their killing, a man looking much like Jacques Singleton.
We've had some information called in that that person possibly could have been in the city around the same time this occurred.
It was a car stolen from Sam's Wholesale in Fern Park that led to Singleton's capture. Some folks recognized him and turned him in.
Wanted for a murder in Sanford yesterday, which apparently was drug-related, happened right on the street, and he may know something about the murder in Oviedo last night, the home invasion and murder.
A second man was shot in the Oviedo home invasion. Singleton's considered the shooter in Sanford, but just a participant in Oviedo. That second man shot in Oviedo, named Jack Sneed, was just a carpenter working on the house, according to police. A carpenter at the wrong house at the wrong time. And the report from the hospital this afternoon is that Jack Sneed will be okay. He is in stable condition. As we mentioned, both men were questioned here at the Sanford Police Department this afternoon. Jacques Singleton was just transported to the Seminole County Jail within the last 5 minutes, charged with murder. The second man was let go. Police are saying that he may have been in the car last evening when Antonio Williams was killed in Sanford, but if he didn't know what Jacques Singleton allegedly was going to do, he cannot be found criminally responsible. Oviedo detectives are also here waiting to take their turn to see whether or not Singleton is in fact involved in their home invasion murder from overnight. All new at 6 o'clock, more on both of the murders, and we'll also talk with the man who had his car stolen by a man wanted for murder. Reporting live at the Sanford Police Department, Dave McDaniel, News Channel 2.
All right, thanks, Dave. We'll look forward to your update.
You bet.
A construction worker is in an...
Eyewitness News at 5:30.
He sent 2 people to the hospital, one of them the suspect.
Investigators say a 16-year-old boy stole a van from a hotel in Daytona Beach and hit 3 cars, including a police cruiser, before finally...
A judge says he should never have been there. Complete coverage as neighbors worry about what to do now that...
Good evening, I'm Terry Sater. John is off tonight.
I'm Wendy Chioji. A wild crime spree. Tonight, 2 people are dead, 2 cities are in shock, and 2 suspects have been picked up. First in Sanford, the suspect stole a car and gunned down a man on a bicycle. That man later died. Then in Oviedo, a violent home invasion. The homeowner was killed. A worker who was at the house was shot as well. Detectives worked fast on this one. They've arrested one suspect and questioned another. News Channel 2's Dave McDaniel was first on the scene of the arrest, and he is live in Sanford now. Dave?
Wendy, Jacques Singleton was a suspect for Sanford police from the very beginning. It was witnesses who told police that Singleton was the man who gunned down another man on a city street last evening. Some folks saw Singleton in a stolen car this afternoon, and they were quick to turn him in.
Go around trusting everybody.
An embarrassed man didn't want to give his name. He was unknowingly drawn into the middle of a murder investigation. His car was stolen right off the trailer he was hauling it on in Fern Park. His thoughts about a murder suspect being inside that car?
He won't bother me because I learned how to protect myself, so it don't scare me a bit.
Tell us about the shooting.
A defiant Jacques Singleton certainly wasn't saying much, except to tell the arresting officer that he was hot, so he wanted the officer to get it over with. Jacques Singleton had been a wanted man since early Wednesday evening. 23-year-old Antonio Williams was gunned down on a city street in Sanford. Bags of pot everywhere. Witnesses said Singleton shot Williams and took his cash. More than a couple hours later, shots rang out in Oviedo during a home invasion. Keith London was killed. A carpenter working on London's house also shot. He'll recover. This composite sketch shows a man involved in the home invasion in Oviedo, a composite which looks much like Jacques Singleton.
No, he's been in the area just prior to the shooting.
And he's wanted for a murder in Sanford yesterday, which apparently was drug-related, happened right on the street, and he may know something about the murder in Oviedo last night, the home invasion and murder.
Sanford police found the car involved in the shooting of Antonio Williams. They're checking it for prints. A second man picked up for questioning was in that car during the shooting, but police say he wasn't involved to the point where he'll be charged. And back live now in Sanford. Within the last few minutes, a handgun has been turned into the Oviedo Police Department. Both departments will be checking that gun to see if it was the murder weapon in either or both cases. Oviedo detectives are still trying to tie Jacques Singleton into their murder from overnight, but so far he is only charged in the Sanford murder. Reporting live from the Sanford Police Department, Dave McDaniel, News Channel 2.
Thanks.
Hoping the arrest of one man is a big break in 2 separate murders. Last night in Sanford, there was a fatal shooting on a city street over drugs. Then later in Oviedo, a deadly home invasion, which left one man dead and another wounded. Steve Olson has the details from Sanford now.
So what can you tell us about those shootings, Jack? You don't have any... 22-year-old Jacques Singleton didn't want to offer what he might know about 2 murders. Singleton was arrested by Seminole County deputies east of Altamont Springs after somebody who recognized him called. Singleton was pulled over in this stolen car, taken from the Sam's Wholesale in Fern Park.
Gave no one permission to drive this vehicle, no one to take it, and it was stolen today's date.
The car's owner says it was tied down on a trailer.
I purchased it for resale 15 minutes ago. It's like, wow, why did I buy that car?
Singleton is accused of shooting and killing 23-year-old Antonio Williams in a drug-related robbery in Sanford last night. Singleton is also accused of being one of 2 home invaders who forced their way into a house in Oviedo. Singleton's partner shot 2 men there. One of them, 24-year-old Keith London, was killed when he struggled. The other man, who was shot, survived and was taken to Orlando Regional Medical Center. Oviedo police released a composite of one of the suspects in their home invasion, and it looks remarkably like Singleton. And both Oviedo and Sanford say this Acura, found near Midway, matches the vehicle used in both crimes. As for Singleton, they shipped him off to the Seminole County Jail.
And according to Sanford police, the weapon that was used in the shootings has been turned in just a little while ago. We're live at the Sanford Police Department. Steve Olson, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Steve. A woman for carrying a loaded...
He is tonight in the Seminole County Jail in Sanford, and that's where Channel 6 News reporter Tom Abrams joins us live with more. Tom?
Well, David, Jacques Singleton is actually charged with murder here in Sanford. That's why he's in jail tonight. But authorities in Oviedo want him too. They want him for robbery. Jacques Singleton is accused of 2 crimes in 2 cities on one night. Police say he was driving this stolen car during 2 violent, deadly events. One of them here in Sanford. Police say he shot and killed 23-year-old Antonio Williams, who was riding his bicycle late Wednesday afternoon. Police think drugs were involved, but the motive was robbery.
We don't think Singleton was trying to buy the drugs at this point. We think that it was just going to be a robbery, and for whatever reason that Singleton decided to go ahead and shoot the victim.
Police say Singleton was also involved in a double shooting with the same gun at this Oviedo home. One man died, another is in critical condition, and while police say Singleton is to blame for the robbery, they don't know who pulled the trigger.
Is there a clear suspect as to who the shooter might be?
Not right at this point, but the leads are focusing on more and more on 1 or 2 people.
And having Singleton in custody certainly helps your case.
Yes, that definitely does help.
Also helping their case tonight is that they have what they think might be the murder weapon, the gun used in both of these cases. Late this afternoon, an anonymous person not being able to be identified brought in a blue steel revolver to Oviedo Police Headquarters, dropped it off, and then left before police had a chance to question them. FDLE will do ballistics tests tomorrow to see if that gun is in fact the gun that was used in both those crimes. David, Grace.
Okay, Tom, thanks.
A teenage driver is behind bars tonight after leading...
Fun, deadly trip. Know it exists, and they're taking steps to control it, if you will, but they say very clearly they cannot control the morality of a crowd, but you can control your drink. Simply put, don't put your drink down in the bar. Don't let it out of your sight. That's really how you can only protect yourself against this dangerous GHB drug. Live in downtown Orlando on the Night Beat at Last Coast News, Channel 2.
Yeah, once again, young women being targeted, Ed.
Unfortunately.
Detectives are piling up clues and evidence quickly in that wild crime spree in Seminole County that left 2 people dead. First in Sanford, the suspect stole a car and gunned down a man on a bicycle. He died. Then in Oviedo, a violent home invasion. The homeowner was killed. A carpenter at the house was shot too. Detectives have already arrested the prime suspect. Trey Thomas is live on the Night Beat with our update at the Seminole County Jail now. Trey?
Well, Wendy, 22-year-old Jacques Singleton is behind bars here at the Seminole County Jail. He's charged with first-degree murder, robbery, and burglary tonight. And now Oviedo and Sanford police believe he may have been involved in 2 murders. It all began Wednesday evening in West Sanford when 23-year-old Antonio Williams, an alleged drug dealer, was shot dead on his bicycle. 2 hours later, this home in Oviedo is invaded by 3 men. Keith London is shot and killed. Now police believe Jacques Singleton was at both Seminole County crime scenes.
What can you tell us about those shootings, Jack?
He did admit to having been in the house and participating in the robbery at that house at 1077 West Broadway.
And that's why we're filing the charges tomorrow.
That's correct.
Now Singleton faces burglary charges for the Oviedo home invasion, first-degree murder charges for the Sanford shooting, on top of robbery for stealing this man's car as a getaway vehicle.
I mean, I've lived here all of my life, and I'm really at ease. I'm a Southerner who's laid back and thinks that you ought to give people room, and this kind of puts a crimp in it.
A piece of evidence could put a crimp in Singleton style. An anonymous citizen has turned over a .357 Magnum, which Oviedo police believe could be the murder weapon in both cases.
There's a possibility that this is the gun that was used in Sanford. We've notified Sanford, and they're going to also conduct tests on the gun.
Now, Singleton has not been ruled out as the gunman in the Oviedo shooting and home invasion. Investigators just haven't gathered enough evidence to charge him with murder. We're live in Seminole County. Trey Thomas, News Channel 2 on the Night Beat.